All right then. So now what we have to do is to let's jump into our like button over here. So let's create a prop for our like button first. So interface, it's going to be like button props. Let's open it, and it's going to receive the song ID because we need to make sure because we have the user ID from the user hook, we can get it from there. And whenever I click this, I need to get the song ID because using that user ID and using that song ID only, we are going to mark that particular song is added as a favorite for this specific user, right? So that's how we need to add the details into the favorites over here. See, if you go and check your favorites table which we created, that favorites table will looking up for your song ID and as well as the user ID. That's the two different thing that we need to add over there, right? So let's come up over here, and the song ID, it's going to be a string type. That is the prop of this component, react, that functional component, and it's going to be like button props. And let's open it and let's get the song. All right, and then now I need to get the router. So const router is equals to use router, and make sure that is coming from your React navigation, not from use React router. It should come from the next next navigation, not from the next router, right? Then I need to get the Supabase client object. So const, let's get it from the use session context. From the use session content, I'm going to get the Supabase client instance, and I need to get the authentication model also. So const auth model is equals to, and use auth model. Anyways, we are not displaying this like button if there is no user data, but we have to double check it every time. So I'm going to get the use auth model. So use auth model, and of course I need to get the user data as well as, so we can get the user data from use user from our custom hook, then use that user. So make sure that use user is coming from our hooks folder and auth model from our hooks folder, and let's bring it to the top. Keep our custom import statement separately over there, right? And then I'm going to create a new state. So use state, I'm going to make sure this imported on the top, like so use state, and this is going to be like state is going to be is liked. If that song is already liked, then I need to display a different icon, and I need to, if it is not liked, I need to display a different icon. So I'm going to get the icon first. So const icon, so make sure I as a capital. So const icon, I should be capital letter because it's a component, right? Equals to, so if that is liked, if the component is liked, where it is, if it is liked, then what I need to do, I need to use for heart, this one. If not, I need to use IO heart outline, this one. Okay, if it is liked, we need to display this filled heart icon. If it is not, we need to display the outline heart icon, right? So after this, it's going to return. Oops, already we have the return. So here I'm gonna bring a button. Okay, inside this I'm gonna have an on click event because the click event is really important. So I'm gonna call handle click, and I'm going to create a new click event. So const handle click, it's going to be a function, and that function should be an asynchronous function, right? And then this is going to be a type of, what type of it is, it's going to be the type of button type, and the class name, of course, cursor, it's going to be the pointer, and margin left should be always auto because it's need to be always at the end of this division, and hover opacity, it's going to be 75. I'm going to reduce the opacity level to 75, and transition, yes, save these changes. And inside this button, now what I have to do, I need to render this icon. So currently nothing is displaying over there, so I'm going to get this icon. So whatever the icon is, it's going to be, it's need to be changed according to this right? So it's going to be a dynamic string literals, use it. So text, of course, it's commonly it's going to be large text, and I'm gonna get the, if it is liked, if it is, the song is already liked, then I need to display text emerald as 400 or 500, whatever the color you wish. If it is not, the text color is going to be neutral 400. Save these changes. Now you should see the icon. So this particular song is not yet liked. That's the reason, right? Now if I click this, it's need to be added to our like songs, right? So before, in order to do that, before adding the click event, first I need to fetch this data. So first, before I need to fetch it, whether that particular song is already added as the favorites into that by that specific user or not. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an use effect, use effect hook, make sure, and that is having this array dependency. And inside that array dependency, what I'm going to do, I'm going to supply the song ID. Whenever the song ID changes, it's need to re-rendered, and supply the Supabase client instance, which we already fetched, and supply the user.id too. If the user change, it's need to re-render it, right? Inside here, and what I'm going to do is, if there is no user, if not user.id, then I need to return. Okay, then if not, only if I have the user data, I need to fetch this function, fetch data is equals to asynchronous function, and that function needs to be called right after here. So what I'm trying to fetch over here, so I'm going to say const data comma error, from where, from await Supabase client. Okay, from I'm gonna get the data from where, from this favorites. So I'm gonna copy this, I'm going to paste it over here, so I don't want any mistakes. So from the favorites, I'm gonna select everything star, then from there I'm gonna fetch this ID. The ID should be equals to that specific user ID. So this column user ID, that's what we are trying to do. So the user ID should be equals to the logged in user ID, make sure conditional rendering, then dot equal, we need to get the song ID as well. So copy the song ID. So we are getting that song ID in our props. So song ID, oops, this is supposed to be inside a string. Yes. Then I need to fetch only the single record. So maybe single, right? So return the data as a single object instead of an array of objects. That's what we are trying to do, right? This function duty is to return a single data, not an array of data, right? So while doing this, so if not error, if there is no error, why I am getting this? So I need to, oops, my bad, this is supposed to be here, if not error, and if we have the data, what I need to do, I need to change this set is liked as true, right? So after fetching the data, if there is no error, or if you're having the data, which means the song is already selected, so we need to mark it as liked one. Okay, so now we need to call this function. Unless we are not calling this function, it's not going to work. So fetch data, so let's call this function. So save this changes, and I think we are getting an error where in the media item, so we haven't imported this. So this, it's now expecting a prop, right? So we need to supply a song ID over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the song ID, and I'm going to supply the data.id in it. So save these changes. Now if you refresh it, so still we are getting, there is no user, so we are not getting, okay, now none of the songs are added as the favorites, right? It's working perfectly so far, there is no issues at all. So now let's go ahead and click handle the click event, right? So this this is where, yeah, here it is. So here, if I don't have a user, if not user, then what I need to do, I need to return the auth model dot on open this function, which means it's need to open the auth model to make sure that user needs to authenticate himself. If it's liked, if it is already liked by, if this particular song is already liked by the user, then what I need to do, I need to remove it. If not, I need to add that song. So we have only two possibilities. So what I'm going to do here, first I'm going to check const error equals to await from where, from the Supabase client. So I'm just going to say dot from Supabase client dot from open the function, and which is going to be the same songs favorites table, right? So favorites table, which is going to be, I need to delete that songs from that favorite. If it is already there, that means what I need to do, I need to delete it. So by what, on what condition basis I need to condition, this is the condition I need to supply. User ID. So let me enable the word wrap so you can see it. So I need to delete the record based on equals to this particular user ID and this particular song ID. So save this, and right after here, while doing this, if I'm getting any error, I need to run this toast from React hot toast dot error, and I need to supply the error message. Whatever the error message I'm getting, I need to supply that error message, right? If not, what I need to do, I need to set is liked as false, right? So if there is an error, I need to raise this error message. If there is no error, then what happened, that particular song is being successfully removed from your favorite. So I need to make this as set liked as false. If not say so, then what I need to do, I have to do the same thing. Let me copy this and let me paste it over here. This time what we are going to do, we are not going to delete it, we are going to insert it, right? That's what we are going to do. So I'm going to remove this. Right after here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say insert. I'm going to insert an object. This time it's going to be song ID, this particular song ID. It's going to be our song ID prop. Then what we need to do, we need to supply the user ID field. For that particular prop, we need to supply user.id, right? If there is any error message, then we are going to return that error. If there is no error message, we need to change this to it is liked successfully, and we need to say toast.success as liked. All right, save these changes. Okay, so once everything is done, every time whenever I'm clicking this function, where is this function is being, if condition is being finished, this else is finishing over here, I need to say router dot refresh the entire router, because we need to fetch the updated details, right? So now let's check it out. So I'm gonna add this song. If I click this song, you can see it's saying as liked, and it's been successfully added to the liked list. If I get back over here, now I should get that detail, user ID and the song which I liked. And if I click this also, that song also will be liked over there. And if I click this one more time, and it will be removed. And you can see now the song is being removed, and instead of ID 10, now it's showing the ID 7. And if I remove this as well, as it will be removed from here. Look at that. And if I click this, it will be displayed back. You can see it's added over there. So just like the same way, now if I click this favorites, I need to display all the favorite songs, whatever I added so far. I need to get that songs, and I need to display it over here. So that's what we are going to do next.